What is up, guys? Welcome back to another fantasy football video. For this video we're going to be going through some rate my team questions and just general advice from the Reddit page. I've not done this type of video in a while, but I thought it'd be really useful because of the stage that we're coming up to in the season. We're on game week 6 now, which means that a good 5 game weeks have passed. We've got a decent amount of data and information, and also because this is quite a good turning point in the season. I think from game week 7 onwards, there's quite a big shift in fixtures for some teams, so I thought it'd be worth going through some rate my team questions and just trying to help out some of the people on the Reddit page. So let's get stuck into that. Okay, so first question we've got up is: should you take a -4 to replace Bachmann? I think Bachmann's the Watford goalkeeper. -4 depends who you're replacing him with, but really I would never really change a goalkeeper for a -4 hit unless it's to kind of like facilitate another move, or if there's a really essential goalkeeper. It just doesn't seem like right now is the best time for taking a hit to replace a goalkeeper, so I'd probably say no to that. Moving on, we've got a team here, so we've got Sanchez. I think that's a pretty decent goalkeeper pick. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Livramento, Marcel, Omobamidele, Salah, Greenwood, Benrahma, Rafinha, Traore, Lukaku, Antonio. So I'm not sure whether to make a transfer or reassess next week. Marcel / Traore defence is general are the players I want to replace soon. Are there any obvious replacements? Good question. I think looking at your team, it doesn't seem like there's that many obvious standout players to replace. I think you've actually got a pretty good team, but if I was to replace Traore, I'd probably go with Gallagher from Crystal Palace. Just because I think that he could end up being quite a good differential and just sort of a good little budget player if he gets back to his form and gets his form back. Or I'd go with maybe Sarr. Sarr's quite an obvious replacement. I think he could be quite a good player as well. I think he's on penalties as well, which is really good. And then for Marcel, I would go with maybe an Arsenal defender, or maybe difficult this. I think Marcel is 4.5 or 5 million, but I would go maybe with a budget player because you've got 3 decent defenders there in Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, and Livramento. Or actually, yeah, you kind of want someone to rotate with Livramento, Omobamidele, and that last spot. So I'd probably go with an Arsenal defender, maybe like Ben White or maybe even Tierney. Maybe Tierney, I'd say. Okay, so we've got another question here which says: bank a free transfer and load 2 Chelsea defenders in game week 7. Oh, that was a response. Okay, yeah. So that's a good point, actually. I'd say 2 Chelsea defenders could be a really good way to go. They've got some really good fixtures. I like the idea of bringing in Rudiger and having Reece James as well, because even if Reece James doesn't start, if you've got a strong bench, it won't matter too much. You've still got Rudiger's points to come in as well if he gets a clean sheet. Okay, so next question, we've got Torres to Sarr or Greenwood to Sarr. Both moves are up to free up funds for Lukaku in game week 7, or do I just bank the transfer and decide next week? There's not much of a rush, I guess. I think if I was to do one of those moves, I'd probably do Torres to Sarr because Man City have got a tougher fixture and Greenwood's got an easy fixture against Aston Villa. I'd probably do it now to avoid the price rises, getting on the price rises and getting Sarr as soon as possible, and then you can just do the transfer straight away to Lukaku. As long as it doesn't cost a hit, I actually think it's better to do it now. But I'd do Torres to Sarr. Okay, so next one we've got rate my team: Sanchez, Foster, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Duffy, Alonso, Rudiger, Livramento, Salah, Benrahma, Gray, Sarr, MacArthur, Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Scarlett. Okay, and 0.4 in the bank. Wildcard is activated. I think that's a pretty decent team. I think Ronaldo and Lukaku is probably going to become a really popular combination as well. You've got Salah as well, which is a really difficult. It's really difficult to fit all those players in. I actually really like this team. I think that double Chelsea defence, I think, is a good differential. A good differential is being able to have Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Salah, and you've still somehow got like a decent midfielders. The only thing is I don't really like MacArthur as a pick and Gray. I like Benrahma and Sarr, but Gray and MacArthur is really where your team is kind of looking a little weaker. I'd say it's difficult. You can't really improve anywhere else. So I'd say it is a good team, but there's not much flexibility in it, is what I'd say. Because if things do change, unless you get rid of one of your premium Salah, Ronaldo, or Lukaku, there's not much flexibility in it. And personally, I was to get rid of one of those, I'd probably get rid of Salah or Ronaldo. Because Salah, you can go to Jota, Ronaldo. They don't have the best fixtures coming up. United, and Lukaku's got great fixtures, so I'd probably keep Lukaku out of those and maybe get rid of one of those too. Rate my team, please. So we've got Sanchez, Steele. That's a good combo. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Livramento, Veltman, White, Jota, Salah, Gundogan, Buendia, Benrahma, Antonio, Ronaldo, and Scarlett. 2 free transfers and 1 in the bank. Buendia / Gundo to Sarr or Gray is my plan at the moment. What would you guys do? I'd say that's a good move. Buendia, I don't think is in that great form. Neither is Gundogan, so getting in Sarr is a good replacement. I don't really like having both Gundogan and Buendia, and I'm not a big fan of Antonio Ronaldo up front, unless you've got a stronger midfield. And the midfield doesn't look that strong. I don't really like having Salah and Jota, so I would get rid of one of Salah and Jota. At least probably Jota. I probably wouldn't get rid of Salah because he's your captaincy option, but it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team at all. I just think maybe Jota, I would keep him for now, but after the Brentford game, maybe look at someone else if he doesn't get any points. And also, Veltman is a Brighton defender. I think if you've already got Sanchez, I don't think you need to go for double Brighton defence. So that's not a priority transfer, but I'd probably look elsewhere there. So, but 2 free transfers, 1 in the bank. I'd probably prioritise getting rid of Buendia. They got tough fixtures, Aston Villa, so that's priority. You're right, is Buendia to Sarr. I'd probably keep Gundogan because City can also, they can always turn up sometimes. Am I crazy to play Bamford and Rafinha against Benrahma and Antonio this game week? I mean, all 4. No. Yeah, it's about Leeds versus West Ham. I guess that's a tricky one to understand. Yeah, I guess. I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't play all of those. I'm going with Leeds to win this game. So if it was me, I would play Bamford and Rafinha. It depends on what your other bench players are as well. Because if you've not got good bench players, then you'd have to play all 4 of those. But I could see there being goals in this game. So I mean, I don't think it's crazy to play all 4 of them. I could definitely see there being goals in this game. There could easily be a 2-2 or a 3-3. So I don't think it's crazy to play all 4 of them. But if you've got better bench players, I'd probably bench one of Benrahma or Antonio. Probably Benrahma. Or even so, you've got Rafinha might have an injury, so you could always bench Rafinha and play one of each. Maybe just play Bamford and Benrahma or Bamford and Antonio. Okay, so what's everyone's thoughts on wildcard in game week 8 versus saving for game weeks 12 to 14? Personally, I'm going to be saving my wildcard for the Christmas fixtures. I think that my depends what your team is basically. If your team is like all over the show, wildcard now and get another fixture change now for game week 7, I would say, or yeah, wildcard in game week 8 even. But if you've got a decent team, there's no need to wildcard just yet. I don't think there's the teams are still pretty template, so I don't think there's really too much need for a wildcard. Greenwood versus Tony. Greenwood plus Tony out for Antonio and who I have 0.8 in the bank. So basically, you're looking for a midfielder. I would go for Grealish. I think that Grealish is a really overlooked player at the moment. He seems to be like nailed on for Man City, and when Man City hit form, you know that Grealish is going to be getting in the points, and he's eventually going to get a haul, and he gets in the bonus points a lot as well. So I personally go for Grealish if you're getting rid of Greenwood. If not Grealish, I'd maybe go for Jota. Or having said that, no, maybe not Jota. I literally just said 2 seconds ago to get him out. I'd probably go for Sarr and save some of the money. So Sarr or Grealish, I'd say. If you can afford more expensive players, I'd look at maybe downgrading somewhere to get another premium. Maybe there. Or maybe Pogba. Pogba's a good option as well if you want to get rid of Greenwood. Okay, so another team: Sanchez, Foster, Tsimikas, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, White, Livramento, Rafinha, Salah, Benrahma, Torres, Basuma, Ronaldo, Tony, Ings. I really like that team. I really like it. The only one I don't like is probably Ings because he's got tough fixtures. But I really like that team. I think it's very well balanced. You've got two good captain options in Salah and Ronaldo. It's not overly unbalanced anywhere. So your ideas and questions are Ings to Antonio. I think that would be a good move. Tsimikas to who? White to who? Torres. I'm okay with risking one pep roulette, especially if OP is striker. Do I need Lukaku? Lukaku is a good one. I think personally, I would get Ronaldo out for Lukaku, but it's not essential to switch between those two. Either Ronaldo out for Lukaku or Salah out for Jota and get Ings to Lukaku. That could be a potential move. Also, you could do Tsimikas to Duffy. He's a good budget option. Or you could also do... I would keep Ben White. I wouldn't get rid of Ben White. I think that Arsenal got decent fixtures. He's not a priority transfer. You've got three good defenders. So I don't think you need to worry too much about Ben White. Okay. Ings to Antonio seems to be the best pick. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Ings to Antonio or Salah to Jota and Ings to Lukaku. Which one is better and why? Aubameyang for Ains. Who's that? Allinson Maxima. Jimenez for Allinson Maxima. Torres for Sarr or Torres for Gray. I'd probably go for Torres for Sarr. I don't think you want to be getting in Newcastle players. There's just too much uncertainty around there. Even though he's a great player, he's an absolutely phenomenal player. I'd probably go for Torres to Sarr. Keep Jimenez as well. I mean, Jimenez could turn up at some point. But yeah, I'd probably go for Sarr. Okay, we've got another one here. It says, help, wanted to roll the transfer and do Torres to Rafinha next week, game week 7. However, Torres is very likely to drop tomorrow and that will probably get me out. Price me out of getting my dream double Chelsea defence of Shaw to Rudiger and Marcel versus James. I've got enough in the bank for a Rudiger rise and a Shaw drop, but not for a Torres drop too. Should I just use my free transfer and do Torres to Sarr? I really want Rafinha, but I think I would have to sadly miss out for now, as it's still unknown whether he's injured or not. Good question. I think personally, yes. If a price rise is affecting you so much that it would mess up your plans and structure of your team for the next few weeks, I would get in early and do the transfer early. So I would do Torres to start early. I won't worry too much about Rafinha because there's always a Bamford there as well, and plus like Rafinha, if he's got an injury, his price isn't going to drop or rise anytime soon. So I would probably just do Torres to Sarr as soon as possible and get Rafinha. Or not worry too much about Rafinha. So Jota to Sarr, too knee jerky. Have Salah, Gray, Jota, Raf, Basuma in the mid right now. I'd say so. Yeah, I think that Jota is still probably going to perform. It's just as a long-term pick, I don't like him unless you're downgrading Salah to Jota so that you can afford like a double premium. But I would say so. It's a little bit too knee-jerky because he's got a good fixture against Brentford, in my opinion. But yeah. It's a good point, though. Yeah, Sarr does have two of the worst defences in the next 2 game weeks. So yeah, up to you. I would probably say it's not knee-jerky, but it's not necessarily a great move. Thinking of Fernandes to Benrahma and Armstrong to Lukaku, advisable. Yes, I would say that's advisable because United have got tough fixtures, and Southampton aren't that great, and Benrahma's doing pretty well, and Lukaku's going to have great fixtures coming up. So I'd say that's a good move. I'd say it's a good move to get rid of Fernandes right now. Okay, I'm going to do final 2 questions here. I'm going to call it a day. So rate my team, 0.1 in the bank, 1 free transfer. So we've got Schmeichel, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tomiyasu, James, Livramento, Semedo, Traore, Rafinha, Salah, Greenwood, Basuma, Antonio, Jimenez, Lukaku. Thinking of transferring Greenwood and Traore next week. Any suggestions? Yeah, I would hold on to Traore for now because Wolves have got good fixtures. They don't look like the best team in the world, to be honest, but there's no rush to get him out, basically, because they may turn it around at some point, and if they do turn it around and Large gets the team to click, they'll start scoring goals, I've no doubt about that, but yeah, not looking too promising, Traore. I probably would transfer him out. Transfer him who to? I'd probably say Sarr, maybe even transfer him out now for Sarr, or Gallagher, or there is also Rafinha. Oh, you've got Rafinha. if you can afford him, try and get Grealish or a City player, maybe even Jota. In fact, I would go for Jota maybe because you've not really got any. I know you got Salah. Okay, no, that don't need Jota. Yeah, I would definitely transfer him out. I'm not too sure who to, but I would say maybe Sa or maybe even just downgrade him and upgrade elsewhere. But yeah, I'd say Traore is a bit of a hit and miss at the moment. Greenwood, I would say keep him for now. There's no real reason to get him out, but if you do get him out, maybe get him out for Pogba, or I would say Grealish. I think the Grealish is a really good option to get in right now. Okay, so last one, Ings against Man United or Lukaku against City. Planning on getting Lukaku next week. Either way, but don't know if I should get him this week or save the transfer in case of injuries. I would say Lukaku against City, personally. I would say Lukaku against City is a better bet. So I would probably just get him in now as soon as possible. I think he's just such a great player. I think that, yeah, I would personally get Lukaku in straight away as soon as possible. I just think he's such a great player. And he's one of those players now who's wanting to turn up against the big teams as well. So yeah, I would get Lukaku in. Okay, that's the end of this video for Rate My Team. I will maybe do another Rate My Team video next week, or maybe just do a quick preview, or maybe some video before the end of this week. But yeah, stay tuned for that if you're interested. And until then, hopefully this video has helped you out. Until then, take care.